Company C, 7th Alabama Cavalry, Confederate States of America. His life ended here in the confines of Camp Chase, far away from home in Butler County, Alabama, far away from those he loved. For the first time, some of his descendants are here to honor him in his final resting place. John Florney Ingram is known to have been born in North Carolina in the year 1827. His parents' names have yet to be discovered. John's childhood, nearly 200 years ago, has faded into the mists of time. A 2019 published article in the Andalusia Star newspaper reports that John migrated to Barber County, Alabama in the early 1850s. There he married Louisa F. Blaylock, a native of nearby Georgia, born in Lincoln County in 1835. The couple moved soon after marrying in 1853. And John was about 26 years old, Louisa 8 years younger. The first of their 6 children, Thomas, was born in Oakey Street, Alabama in 1854. John Ingram was a farmer that owned his own farm. Likely he had determined to be well established before marrying. The 1860 census notes his occupation as a farmer with land and personal property valued over $1,000. At that time, a substantial sum. He and Louisa shared their home with their 3 children by 1860. 2 elderly adults with the surname Dees, both born in North Carolina in the late 1700s, also lived with them, probably extended family of John. When the war between the states began in April 1861, John remained in Alabama, farming his land, tending to home and family. Another child, Mary Leela, or Molly, was born that year. She likely had no distinct memory of her father, having been a toddler when he left from home for the last time. Yet here today are her great-great-granddaughter and 3 great-grandsons. Alabama experienced little fighting on home soil for the first 2 years of the war. By 1863, federal forces had a foothold in the northern part of the state. The tumultuous month of July, 1863, saw the Great Battle in Gettysburg, the fall of Vicksburg, Mississippi, and locally, the formation of the 7th Alabama Cavalry, organized on July 22, 1863, as part of a brigade under General Clanton. John Ingram is noted as J.F. Ingram in his compiled military service records. In fact, here on stone 1474, his grave is marked with only his initials. Confederate records indicate he enlisted on May 13, 1863 at Troy, Alabama, being enrolled for the duration of the war by Captain Alexander Bright. He left his wife and by then 6 children to tend to the farm. Whether he joined the Confederate service as a conscript or as a volunteer, we know not. John took his own horse with him when he joined the cavalry, though. Records show from August through October of 1863 he was on detached duty on coastal service in Rucker's Brigade. John continued on coastal duty for several months. He was listed as present for duty through the end of '63. His last known pay for military service was on December 31st of that year. 1864 brought the transfer of the 7th Cavalry to service under General Nathan Bedford Forrest. The 7th moved north on what is now known as the Franklin-Nashville Campaign. They would march north through Alabama into Tennessee, going to battle in Johnsonville in an effort to disrupt a critical Union supply line. The 7th Alabama Cavalry fought in the bloody Battle of Franklin, Tennessee, in Major General Forrest's Corps, General James Chalmers' division under Colonel Edmund Rucker. At Franklin, the armies fought all day into the night. An ultimate Confederate defeat with nearly 6,000 casualties and the loss of 14 Southern commanders, more than any other battle of the long 4-year war. Still suffering from the ordeal at Franklin, the Confederate Army moved north towards Nashville, A short 2 weeks later, engaging in what would be the last major offensive action of the war for the Confederacy on December 15, 1864. Success was denied once again at Nashville. The condition of Private Ingram is unknown. Was he injured, in poor health, or debilitated? What is known is that on the retreat from Nashville, the 7th Alabama fought day and night, repeatedly repelling the enemy's cavalry. On December 17, 1864, during the retreat, Private Ingram was captured near Franklin and became a prisoner of war. He was held in Tennessee for nearly 2 weeks, where he, along with many other captives, were put on boxcars for the trip to Louisville, Kentucky. On the last day of 1864, they traveled there. A brief stay ended when he was transferred to Camp Chase, Columbus, Ohio. Arriving early in January in the cold of winter, John Ingram must have shared his experience with other Alabama soldiers in the large prison camp. Another Alabamian, Private Charles Kitchen, was also interned here at Camp Chase. He served in Company I, 23rd Alabama Infantry. Private Kitchen died here too on March the 2nd of 1865. The Kitchen and Ingram families later became related by marriage and blood. Private Charles Kitchen is the 2 and 3 great-granduncle of the McMillan gentleman here today. Conditions in all prison camps of war were poor in the last months. February 1865 recorded the most deaths of any month and any year of the war. Private John Florney Ingram would succumb to pneumonia Sunday, February 26, 1865. The war would be over 2 months later. Louisa F. Ingram was left a widow with her 6 children under the age of 12. She ultimately filed in Butler County for a Confederate widow's pension. She did not remarry and lived until 1912. John and Louisa's children had many children of their own. Some descendants still live in Oakey Street, others in Covington County, Alabama. One grandson would lose his life in service to our country during World War II. Today we remember Private John Florney Ingram and Private Charles Kitchen. Thank you.